Do you think President Bush should be brought up on war crimes and Vice President Cheney and Donald Rumsfeld for the attack on Iraq?
I think things that they authorized probably fall within the area of war crimes. Whether that would be productive or not, I think is a discussion we could all have. But we have established procedures now with the International Criminal Court in The Hague where people who take actions as serving presidents or prime ministers of countries have been indicted and have been tried. So the precedent is there to do that sort of thing. And I think we need to ask ourselves whether or not it would be useful to do that in the case of members of the Bush administration. It's clear that things that the Bush administration did, in my mind at least, it's clear that some of the things they did were war crimes.
Now, Mr. Clarke, you were obviously part of the Clinton administration, and you took part in the discussions on the issue of who to target. So on this issue, in 2002, you testified before Congress, and it's since been declassified, and you said, quote, "We didn't want to create a broad precedent that would allow intelligence officials in the future to have hit lists and routinely engage in something that approximated assassination." You went on to say, quote, "There was concern in both the Justice Department and in some elements of the White House and some elements of the CIA that we not create an American hit list that would become an ongoing institution that we could just keep adding names to and have hit teams go out and assassinate people." Can you talk about the deliberations that took place when you were there under President Clinton?
So we had established that bin Laden wanted to kill large numbers of Americans. And the only option that we had to target him, since we couldn't fly in and pick him up and arrest him, although we had tried that, was cruise missile attacks. And those cruise missile attacks created high risk of collateral damage and introduced a whole set of problems. And so we looked at if it was legal to use cruise missiles, which would kill a lot of people, why wasn't it legal to use something that was more precise, that would just go after the very few people that we were concerned with? And that discussion went on for a while, and we knew there was a barrier there that we weren't sure we wanted to cross. And ultimately, the fact was that President Clinton did authorize CIA to attempt to arrest bin Laden, and failing that, he authorized the use of lethal force. That was a time when we crossed the barrier and actually had a name on a hit list. We knew, however, that the Israelis had been doing this for a long time, coming up with hit lists. And we knew it was extremely counterproductive in their case. And we wanted to avoid that. Fast forward to the Bush administration and then the Obama administration, and you have, as I describe in Chapter 2 of the novel, a kill committee. People who sit around in the White House passing folders back and forth of names and voting on who they're going to kill. I just find that it went way too far. If any of us back in the Clinton administration would have imagined that in the same room, in the same chairs a few years later, people would be sitting around with long lists and folders with pictures and names of people and voting on who would live and who would die, I think we might never have authorized the first use of lethal force against bin Laden.